your Ford dealer and got a used vehicle with Ford Blue Advantage, and you've never felt more confident. Your vehicle went through a detailed inspection done by Ford certified techs. You saw the Carfax report. You took a test drive. And you even got a Ford-backed warranty. And now you have the confidence.
Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators.
Ford Blue Advantage.
Including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports.
Listen, there's a good chance
Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Check this out. First up, prevention. The Wix platform is secure by design. Security experts are in the dev process, performing threat model, penetration tests, and designing code reviews.
Studios,
large enough to serve you for your data in transit and data.
We'll have JT momentarily, a short version today.
Wix is compliant with the highest level of PCI DSS, and it doesn't stop there. The top international privacy and security regulations, they're all in place.
Here hosted at Adina, which is a phenomenal
it's all about staying ahead of the game.
Great weekend
real-time detection.
for Gator sports.
Wix security never sleeps.
Baseball,
never.
basketball,
24/7, 365. The Security Operations Center is on a mission to monitor and hunt down
Gator
threats.
Gymnastics, what a performance by them.
Anti-DDoS protection,
I have not heard
data
the status of
analysis,
the young lady
machine
that's
learning.
injured.
And let's not forget,
Hopefully
the
it's
number
not
one rule in
career
cybersecurity
ending,
is
it's probably
nobody
ending,
is
but,
100% unhackable.
What an atmosphere there.
That's why Wix goes all out with a bug bounty program for independent security researchers, aka ethical hackers.
We'll have JT here momentarily.
And that's not all. It's time for response. Even in the unlikely event of an extreme situation, your business stays up and running. The IR team gets it done. They're trained to act fast, and there's a BCP for reliable continuation and smooth recovery.
And then,
so
basketball's rolling right along.
You take care of business. Security's on Wix.
And jump on the bandwagon while you can. Also, Gators have, I can't tell you how many texts on the Titan MR text line came in about our new co-offensive coordinator, which he was pretty much the co-offensive coordinator last year, Russ Calloway, your tight end coach. So, JT, you're on the Titan MR Highline courtesy of Duffield Home Improvement. What's shaking?
It's a miracle. AT&T can't get it together, but we got it together. Maybe
where you live. Where you live.
Maybe I need to give maybe I need to give them.
Gotta wait to make them move it. Why you watching drinking 40? I just told it. Still that same nigga in a foreign, but it's stolen. Ryan sported, acting sporty, can't control it. I'm doing fine. I got it.
3 years, QB. Why is it where I live? What are you talking about?
I have no idea. But
I don't either.
JC, Gators dominated in about every sport over the weekend.
Okay.
And roll damn Tide. The Big Blue Nation put it on the Tide.
Well, QB, let me put it to you like this. In about 5 days, nobody's going to care. Well, actually, probably today, nobody really will care. Nothing's really going to change. Everybody's going to show up in Nashville, play in the SEC tournament, and we're going to still get 8 or 9 teams. And I don't think seeding really changed. If anything, it helps Kentucky, but they have one glaring problem, and their glaring problem is that they don't defend. But if they outscore people like the way they scored the other day, they don't have to worry about defending, do they? I mean, 117 points. I mean, when you score that kind of, when you get that kind of production, you don't have to worry about playing defense. But that's not going to consistently.
Well, see, here's what I've tried to tell you. Alabama does not play defense either.
Right.
And the difference between Alabama and Kentucky, and this is just my opinion, this is what my eyes tell me, is Alabama has no size. No size at all. They have one guy, I think, 6'10", but Kentucky has 3 or 4 6'10" guys, just like the Gators do. And I mean, we'll see. But I think Florida has a chance to go deep in the tournament, as well as Kentucky does. So we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, certainly they can. I mean, Calipari changed his lineup. He used Justin Edwards, who finally had a good game, and this big tall.
What do you mean he changed his lineup?
Well, he did. He if you read about
Justin Edwards is,
but he has
started every year.
But he has
the Croatian kid.
QB.
The Croatian kid hardly plays.
QB, I'm telling you, the thing is that many times these guys have not been. I mean, Edwards was averaging 8 points, okay, but he went 10 for 10.
He made all his shots.
Right, but his production has been down, and but he goes 10 for 10. Nobody saw that coming. He made 4 threes. He had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But that's not been the case this year. He has not been that consistent.
Right.
And then the big tall Croatian.
My point is he did not change his lineup.
No, but what he did was he basically decided. I read this in The Athletic. He decided in the morning he was going to play those guys, especially the Croatian player, much more than he has. He was not going to play that. He hasn't played that kid that much. And so he decided, I'm going to play him. I'm going to play him because Alabama.
Yeah, but he didn't really. The Croatian is 7'2", but he fits well playing Alabama because of the physicality. He's played against other teams that pushed his ass around. And, he didn't play until the game was like a 20-point lead. I mean, so regardless, it doesn't matter. Like you said, Alabama will move on. They'll be fine. I don't know who they play next, but I'm just telling, look out for Kentucky. We got some text on the Titan of our text line we need to get to here real quick. This is from Daryl. He says, after seeing the Gators basketball team live twice this year, I think they can make a run in the tournament. I agree. JC could have his safari hat on if he was at the PGA Tour, sponsored by his bird sanctuary and Beitong Thai restaurant.
Right. Beitong Thai. Good win for this kid yesterday, by the way, at Vedanta. Former bouncer. I don't know if you watched any of this, but he's only played 4 or 5 times. He had to qualify, and now he's got an exemption through the 2026 season on the PGA Tour, and he's got $1.5 million. His girlfriend now is waiting for a ring, I'm sure, and he's got basically the Players, the Masters, the PGA Championship, and the Century all on his calendar now. He didn't have that just 4 days ago, and God bless him. That was excellent. I had to watch that QB yesterday. I love seeing people's lives change. It is so much more interesting to me to see a guy like that yesterday win and change his life and be have a very special event that does it for him than watch Dustin Johnson traipse around the golf course, looking like he couldn't care less. So.
Yep. I agree. Radware is a family-owned business that prides itself in excellent customer service while providing quality and affordable promotional products and customized apparel. We got JC on the Titan of our hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements. We'll have a short version today of the program due to I have to play at Adena Golf Club. And
what time you teeing off? When you teeing off, QB?
Like 8:45, and I sure hope it ain't a scramble.
Oh my God.
Greg says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melvin Law. We have an assistant offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator. Now all is cured. Little do people know that Russ Callaway was part of the offense last year. So,
little do they know. Little do they know.
Little do people know. Andy wants to know who's in my foursome today. Andy, I have no idea. I just show up. This is the kind of tournaments I don't even go hit a ball. I don't putt. I go get in my cart and pray that it's a play your own ball or a shamble at least.
I don't know, QB. I got a feeling you're not going to get what you want. I hope you're wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But if you don't know all these things at this point, within an hour of your tee time, I have a feeling they're just going to tell you to go get that cart over there. Well, because, you would hope there to be some organization an hour before you tee off somewhere.
Well, no. I just, not like JC, when I play in these deals, and I only play on a handful of them, I don't care about any of that. All I need to know is what time to be there. Which I was, teeing off at 8:45. That's all I need to know. I don't care anything else. So Dan says Joe Lenardi has Florida number 7 in the West playing in Nebraska. Hopefully not.
Well, look, as long as the game's not in Lincoln, you're in great shape. That's a very good basketball team when they're at home. But
no, he didn't say playing Nebraska. He said playing in Nebraska.
Excuse me. I beg your pardon.
We don't even know if Nebraska's going to make the tournament.
It seems like you're in a hurry today, QB. You're in some sort of big rush. You're in a big rush to get to a tournament. You don't know who you're playing with or what time or where. You're playing.
JC,
in a rush.
When I play in these things, you never know who you're playing with. They are customers from all over the country. So how would I know who they are? All right, Mark has a question here. What do y'all think of the Duke player getting hurt in the court storming Saturday night?
Well, it's ridiculous.
What are your thoughts?
They can't. I don't know. This is a very difficult situation. this is becoming harder and harder to control the more that it's being shown, right? And the more that it happens, it seems like there's less it feels like these conferences can do, because a $100,000 fine is just taken care of with a GoFundMe account by the student body. So it's kind of hard to figure out what they're going to do about this. There can't, there was a proposal that said, maybe we'll just forfeit the game for the home team, but that fell off a cliff when they decided, why should we punish the student athlete guys who are the players who are out there trying to win a basketball game? So that fell off the table. They're not going to do that. I don't know what the answer is, QB, other than
I saw a great deal on Twitter. I don't remember who posted it, but said it should be about a $200,000 or $400,000 fine. That money goes into the opposing team's NIL fund.
Well, that's that. You know what? Or you could say, we're going to start raising prices on these kids that go running out on the court. Now, you don't want to chase them away, but yeah, I mean, put the money somewhere that penalizes, I guess, the home team. I don't know. It's the administration has they have the obligation to protect the players and the people involved in the event. And right now, Caitlin Clark and this kid Filipowski from Duke are evidence that they're not getting the job done with the protection. And so, yeah, it's going to have to come through some financial matter or some sort of punitive action against the home team. But a couple $100,000 fine that goes to the league office doesn't do anything. They can take care of that. So,
JC, I want you to answer this question Greg put on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melvin Law. He says, what's more important, us loyal listeners or you playing golf? Now, but if people knew how I normally like to play golf compared to what I'm having to do today, there's no comparison, because I live for competitive golf. I mean, that's what drives me. But today is not that. So,
well, but you're still doing it because you still feel some sense of obligation, QB. Otherwise, you wouldn't.
Right. But it has nothing to do. It's no enjoyment because I'm not playing competitive golf. So anyway, JC, anything stand out to you over the weekend?
It was just, I guess, to me, QB, it was Jake Knapp. I mean, playing and winning that Mexico Open. This guy was bouncing at a local bar very recently. He wasn't even playing. And he comes out and goes 67, 64, 63, and then held on with a 71 yesterday. Pressure was on him, and he got up and down from many spots on that golf course down there that Tony Finau won last year. And so it was a very exciting day for him. He changed his life. Like I said, this is a life change day. I'd rather see Jake Knapp get his life changed than watch, like I said, Brooks Koepka just kind of mosey around a golf course. Now, listen, when the Masters starts and when they get into the majors, that's when I'll get ready for Brooks and Dustin and those guys. But on a week-to-week basis, this is just as good for me as watching guys that don't want to play on the PGA Tour try to play on the PGA Tour. That stood out. Go ahead.
Are those guys eligible to play in the majors?
Well,
I can't remember where we stand with that.
No, I think they are. I mean, the LIV has not. These guys have gotten some. They got their cake and eat it too. They get these generational historic deals from the LIV. They go and disappear and then reappear for the major tournaments. And I think that's still the case. I mean, you're going to see Koepka, you're going to see Mickelson, you're going to see these guys play the Masters, QB. So, it's more exciting for me, though, to see a guy like Jake Knapp come out of nowhere, literally come out of nowhere. And now he will be playing at Augusta, and he will also be playing in the PGA, and he will be playing at the Players Championship here in a couple of weeks. His life has changed just overnight. So I think that's a great thing to have on this tour. Nick Dunlap, and then there was another player, all first-time winners on tour. I think it's phenomenal. I love seeing that. So I think, when Rory McIlroy eventually goes to the LIV, that'll pretty much do it. And all those players will basically change their address, and I'm not going to care as much. But they'll play in the majors, so we'll all bet on our pools. We'll all go online. We'll all do this and that, and have fun watching the major tournaments, and then it'll be over, and we won't see them again for a month. But that stood out. And then, of course, the basketball over the weekend was pretty exciting. Good stuff. We're getting close to tournament time. And then, like you said, the spring sports did well here for Florida, and all is good. I'll tell you, there's a team you better watch out for in Tampa. Watch out for those South Florida Bulls. I got my Bulls hat on today, QB. They're going to win their little conference.
Lord, JC's got a new team.
Well, you look at them and you gotta recognize the Bulls. The Bulls are going to win their conference, and they play in front of 3,000 fans. Nobody cares in Tampa, but there they are. Over 20 wins. They beat SMU, beat the hell out of them. They're 21-5, and they're first in the American Athletic Conference. South Florida Bulls, 79, 80, 68 winners over SMU. So,
speaking of basketball, we got a text here on the Take No More text line from Jonathan in Nashville. He says, Shane, you may be onto something. You and Todd Golden are thinking the same way. Riley Kugel, only 6 minutes played against Vanderbilt. I didn't see the game. I was out of town. But, I mean, it is what it is, people. I don't know what else to say. This basketball team is very good. They have two outstanding guards. And then the third guard, when Will Richard knocks down shots, he is the key, in my opinion, for this team to make a deep, deep run. And I think they're going to. So,
he had
6 minutes is not a lot.
He had 21 points, Will did, and 3 assists. Florida 19-8. They win by 13. And, the Gators, they take care of home court, and they do the things they have to do now, it seems like, on the road to make these games competitive. They're going to win on Wednesday night against Missouri, so there's another win. And then, on the weekend, it's off to who they play. Who do they play on the second? They play South Carolina, and that'll be a tough game. So, but Florida's playing better on the road these last 2 wins. But look at Kentucky. I still want to go back to Kentucky for a minute. You go and beat Auburn's brains out. Then you lose to LSU. They kill Alabama. And would anybody be surprised? Would anybody be surprised if they lost to Mississippi State tomorrow night? No, nobody would be. So their problem is consistency. But when they're on, they're on. But so is everybody. When everybody's on, they're on, right? I mean, when everybody's having a good game, whoever it is has a good game, then you can say, well, when they're on, they're on. Kentucky could easily lose to Mississippi State tomorrow night, QB. Easily.
Yeah. I mean, Mississippi State's a team you don't want to play either.
Yeah.
And he says Will Richard, not Riley Kugler's the new Kyle Cole. I said Will Richard at the beginning of the year was my guy. Whether I'm right or wrong, but
playing well.
Jeff keeps talking about he's battling the flu. I've not heard one bit about that. Brandon says, how did the Gator golf team finish? I think they're still playing out in Vegas. They were doing pretty well out there, by the way.
Gatorzone.com, Brett.
That's not what it's called anymore. It's FloridaGators.com, JC.
Okay, FloridaGators.com. You get there, the same address. You can find it out. I mean, I typed in Gatorzone. It all worked out for me, QB. I got to see all the results. When do the girls play? The girls are going to play the U this weekend. So, so all you local golf fans, Gino, get out there and watch the girls play. Hopefully they can have a better season than last year. They weren't that good last year, so maybe they'll turn it around. And I think the men are, of course they lost some players, but they also got some dudes that can do big things on the golf course. So there's still plenty of opportunity left on the golf team. I don't think they're going to be as bad as some folks might think. I think they'll be fine.
Text on the Titan MR text line from William. He says, Shane, I want your thoughts on the hiring of Russ Callaway as the co-offensive coordinator. I really have not even thought about it because he was on the staff since Billy's been here. He called plays at Sanford back in the day. He's an air raid guy. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the air raid. There's few concepts I like, but the air raid does not throw it down the field. Like I said, offensively, if we just throw 6 to 7 deep balls, let's say 6 to 8 deep balls a game, I'm perfectly fine with what we've been doing. But we have to do that. I don't understand all the talk on that. I know people want to, but here we are. We have it's been announced co-offensive coordinator, but everybody's excited.
So who's going to call the plays again?
Billy.
Okay, so what's changed?
Nothing. They just announced that Russ Callaway is a co-offensive coordinator now. Whereas the original offensive coordinator, so I guess our true offensive coordinator is still our O-line coach, because that's what's next to his name is offensive coordinator. But people can look at all the titles they want. Billy Napier calling the play.
Right. Right. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, folks. But the good news is that, maybe Graham Mertz has got some help this year, more than maybe last year. He had plenty of help last year, folks. Again, the offense did fine. It's the other side of the ball and the special teams that really cost the Gators last year. I think everybody knows this. So QB, true or false? Will the Gators score more than 32 points, or in more games, or would you say the Gators are going to score 32 points or more in more than half the games they play this year?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of times teams that score over 32 points, they end up winning. So one reason why you might not win if you score 32 or more points is because you can't stop the other team from scoring more than that. Or you flub up special teams that cost you the game in some capacity. So offensively, you got a good quarterback. You're probably going to have a better offensive line, and you'll get guys in the end zone. It's going to be fun. I think they're going to be fun.
Yeah, they have a stable of really good running backs. They have a lot of good young wide receivers. Missing Ricky Pearsall is going to hurt, because I think he's one of the top 10 receivers ever played at the school. But the bottom line is, if the O-line comes around, the offense will be fine. They will be fine.
I agree. I mean, that's to me, that's exactly right. So, what we need are some real dogs on defense to take over a game, and I don't know if we have that. I really don't.
Sean has a question on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon. Has Stapleton's departure been filled, and thoughts on what that will be? I've not heard. He was the number 2 O-line coach that went to the Redskins, and I don't believe it's been filled as of today. I could be wrong, though. Like I said, I try not to really worry about all this off-season nonsense, because there's really no reason to. I mean, spring ball starts here in a week or so. I'll go watch some practice, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over spring football practice.
QB, before you run, QB, I just wanted to tell you that you were talking high school not long ago, and then of course you went on your tour through Georgia. I was just in Mississippi, went to a private school named St. Andrews. I felt like I was in a small college, and a small college with money. And they win 4 or 5 football games. It's not really a football school, but they put more money in football facilities than most football schools do, and yet they don't really win at football. But they win in everything else, it seems like, in their division, in their size. And girls swimming, boys basketball, golf, even lacrosse, sports like that. And I sat in the gym for 12 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Friday, and I just looked around, and they had a spotlight from the roof that just lit up the championship match that these wrestlers competed on. But the entire place could have held, I don't know, just so many events: girls volleyball, boys wrestling, basketball, anything. And it's just tremendous, some of the land. And then this place, Jackson Prep by the airport, it's like a small college. It's MRA, Madison Academy. It's just, to me, it comes down to one basic thing, and that is, do the grown-ups care? And when they care, they can do special things for the kids. And money is of no concern. So,
yep, there's no question about that. We've preached that the state of Florida is so far behind. It's a shame, and they've lost so many good coaches throughout the years to other states that actually care. Yeah. It's really sad, quite honestly. I was telling somebody about this the other day, that if my kid was, say, like 5th, 6th grade, or before high school, even maybe in high school, if he still had eligibility, I was moving to Georgia.
Yeah.
So he could experience what it's supposed to be like. What most people, go through. But here in the state of Florida, you don't get that.
Yeah. Maybe we just have so many. Well, that's just an excuse. I mean, Texas and California have a lot of people, and they also have great places. I don't know what it is about this state here with the Chi schools. Can't really explain it, to be honest with you. But it is there in other places, and it seems like more captive markets, and they care. It's all about whether or not the grown-ups care, and they do. So some places they do, many they don't.
All right, real quick, this day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. This day in sports is 1989. Dallas Cowboys, they fire Tom Landry after a 29-year career. This day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Hang on, I got to read this Facebook Live. What was he referring to? Where'd it go? Rodney says, living in Georgia is like trying out hell. See, I don't know. I grew up in Mississippi, and Mississippi and Georgia are very similar in those little towns.
What's it like living in Georgia? What did he say it was like living in Georgia? What? It was what? Like what?
Like trying out hell.
Trying out hell? Well, I'd tell you, I was the furthest from hell this weekend at St. Andrew's Episcopal School. That looked like, again, a small college.
He's talking about living in Georgia, JC.
Just living in Georgia? You can get around that if you have, you can get around that if you have things. Yeah, well, I mean, again, you can get around that if you have a purpose. And if you don't have a good job, go somewhere where you do. But for the kids, and just specifically for the kids, the advantages that I see in so many places just make you feel jealous that you don't have it where you live and where you raise your own kids, if that's the kind of thing they want. Now, educational wise, I'm sure we have great schools, and we do. We have great schools here, but you still can't get in the University of Florida for some reason. I had a kid that went through the Cambridge program at GHS, had a kid that went through the Cambridge program at GHS, and he couldn't get into Florida. The other kid didn't go to the Cambridge program at GHS, and he did get into Florida. So I can't explain any of this. None of it.
That's a whole nother show, because I can't remember where I was this weekend, and two people, legacy, mom and dad, grandma, I mean, like 5 generations of Gators. Their kids come from, maybe their kids were from Bowl. I can't remember what school it was, but very smart kids did not get in, and these people were raising hell. Oh my goodness!
So get it.
I said, well, that's what we are now. We want the out-of-state tuition and the foreigners to come to school here, and that's why, the chemical engineering guy who's from whatever country that's a Gator grad living in California does not give 2 cents about Florida athletics.
Yes.
Would you agree with that, JC?
I would, because I've seen it. It's actually, I've seen evidence of it, that exact same example you gave. And it's a huge school. I get it. But so is freaking Ohio State. And you can't walk anywhere in that state without, OHIO, right? And everywhere in the country, OHIO. They love it. But, they let everybody in, I guess, up there. But it's still a great school, right? You graduate from OHIO, you get something special. And you would think that's the case here in Florida, but nobody cares about the representation on Saturdays. But they do care, but they don't care. I get what you're saying, and I think you're exactly right. I think you're exactly right.
Here's what Dan states this very well on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law. The admissions office, that's going to be the long, slow death of sports at Florida.
Well, gosh, that would be, Well,
I think our new president can help there. I really do.
I think you're right. I hope so. He's a different type of president than the one we had here that tried to turn this place into an Ivy League school, which I guess everybody's proud of. But what happened on the football field, nobody's really proud of.
I'm not. I could care less.
You could care less?
I mean, it's great. Well, I mean, I got a diploma, but I'm not one of those that pounds my chest. We're a top 5 public school.
Well, I would tell you this. And I will tell you this, because I know this to be true. You can get a bachelor's degree at, I don't know, call it LSU, Georgia, South Carolina. You can get a bachelor's degree at Florida. And I don't know what your embedded advantages are, but here we are talking academics. But I will just tell you that a bachelor's degree is a bachelor's degree, and you really have to move on from that with another specialty. And that's just the way the working world works today. And so I don't know why Florida, it makes it difficult. I don't know. But I will tell you that maybe the new leadership will will open the doors to maybe more kids from Florida, maybe from Florida rather than from Burma or the Philippines or somewhere else, when we've got local homegrown kids that are just as smart that want the same opportunities. And maybe we'll get that. But
they want to show up in the student. They want to show up on the student section and watch the football games that they grew up coming to watch when they were kids.
I would think so.
Or being a rowdy reptile.
Yeah, and maybe saying Gator
crazy,
and then maybe saying, God forbid, maybe they scream Gator Betty. I mean, the trauma. I mean, so I want some of these old traditions to come back to Florida if it can, or if it ever will. But I have a feeling that a lot of people running things at Florida are not Floridians, or they're not Florida Gators. And that's why I went on this tangent months ago about hiring Gator greats who can coach to be on the staff. And I think we got a couple, right? Mike Peterson, so forth. But I don't know. I just want to return.
Greg, JC, real quick before we get out of here. Greg wants to know, is Joe Biden running the University of Florida now?
God forbid. I'm going to, just because I know there are people who will vote for Joe Biden that are watching our show, I'm going to reserve comment. But the University of Florida is, the student body did vote to go all Green New Deal. That was in the paper not long ago. So maybe you can drive your, maybe you'll have a hybrid one day, QB, and you can drive the football games, or an EV.
That'll never happen. That won't happen. Natasha says her girl is in. She hasn't missed a home football game since she was 2 weeks
good
old.
Well,
she yells Gator Bait proudly. I love how they yell Gator Bait, but we need the band back playing Gator Bait. As simple as that.
Simple as that. Get back to the damn tradition.
Maybe we'll start that petition, JC. We'll start a petition.
I'm all for it. You got to get back to the things that made this school what it is. Don't lose the identity over some ideological bullshit. And I think that's hopefully what will happen. But who knows? I mean, listen, we're not in charge over there. We just follow their teams and talk about their sports success, and hopefully we'll all be happy about that. But because we care about the players, right? We care about some of the fans. At least I care about some of the fans, most of the fans. I love tailgating with the Gator fans before the game. I love going down to Lake Alice. I love seeing all those cool people that were into what they were about to do that day and partying up a storm. And that's the experience. And I don't ever want to see that get lost. I don't think it will. But there is a change of atmosphere sometimes. And I just wanted to get back to what was when it was really good. And I think it will, but I hope it does. It better. They got to win.
I agree.
Go hit them straight,
JC,
go hit them straight. Go hit them straight. Hopefully you'll play your own ball. It's a great course. Imagine if you had to play that great course and not use your own ball. So.
Don't even get me thinking that. And then we have the big Steve Spurrier Awards banquet tonight. Also, there's still tickets available if you want to come tonight. If anybody's listening there at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it goes from like 5 to 9. Coach Spurrier will be there. A lot of former Gators. Should be a great event. We'll, Jamie Chadwell will be there. Maybe we'll hire him as offensive coordinator, get people fired up. But we'll recap it all, let everybody know how it goes if they can't make it. But sorry for the short show today. But
go hit them, ball.
It is what it is.
Go hit the ball.
Yep. All right, everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.
All right.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Duffield Home Improvements for your window, siding, and roofing needs. Radware, your local provider of promotional products, uniforms, and apparel. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352.
Complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.